Alright, people, the reason I'm recording this one is only because I still don't see the reason to give up on you guys. Because if I got 70 views on the previous video, that is terrible, statistically speaking, but that means 70 of you, those who are worth my time and my energy, have watched me and benefited in some way or the other from watching it, because that's my purpose of doing these videos, so someone can benefit, so someone can be helped with twin flame journey. So I'm not giving up on you guys. Energy in my field, in my life, is messed up. I wanted to fix the chakras. I worked hard on fixing the chakras. I gave up on some major standards that I had for many years, that I built up belief systems to, in order to make that, my camera was showing 111, in order to make that chakra system work. But the problem is me. I made the mistake, I guess, for being me, being myself. I'm too nice, and that's one thing that my twin flame told me once, that I'm too nice. He observed me probably for some time, and as my mirror, as someone who can see through me and through my own issues that I need to fix, he told me I was too nice. So if you followed, if you're loyal and subscribers and you followed so far, then you know that I've tried. Root chakra belongs to my twin flame union. It's activated since last year. Sacral chakra was filled with very bad energy since my previous karmic relationship. That was more than 10 years ago. And I met a person, and you guys watched that, and it was fine as one occasion, and then we decided to go separate ways. And then my heart was too soft, and I was worried if he was going to be okay, so we met again and again and again, and bottom line is we met 7 times altogether, until last time he made really hurtful statements. He was trying to hurt me. He was actually falling for me, which it does and it doesn't work for me. But if you're with someone and you try to enjoy their personality and everything they are, you should do it fully. But he's holding back on emotions. He's holding back on personal, sharing and things. And that wasn't obviously hurtful enough. I could deal with that. I've worked on my ego for these past few years, big time, as many of you have worked on your egos. And so I was like, the whole time, every time he was holding back, he was doing these things, I knew, and I was kind of telling myself and my higher self, unconditional love, unconditional love, unconditional love. This is also for your twin flame reunion. This is for you. This is for your energy. Just, don't take this to your heart. But then last time he really, and I don't know why I did this, like going back and forth, because he insisted seeing me again, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have stopped it after the first experience, because that was what I was seeking. If I got what I wanted, it was good enough. It was good enough for him. but I just wanted to be a nice person and not disappoint someone. So now I'm disappointed one because I'm only human and some words are hurtful. And when it comes to then another person mentioned in the previous video, the throat chakra guy, I really, really wanted to connect on communication level as two people, as some sort of correlation, something that will build both of us. And I think I mixed up energies because I actually, the night we talked and we connected, I went, the sacred guy called me and I went out, and then I think the energies just got mixed up. The other guy must have felt that somehow, or I am the one who started, being like judgmental on myself, feeling bad that it's kind of like double, communication. And before we even started, then he made something happen that almost, happened that made me disappointed. And so it didn't happen. And now he's posting things on his Facebook that sound like could be related, that he's kind of sending me messages because I took him off my friends, but I check on him and he says that he's checking on someone to ask his friends what's going on with him. Is that okay, that he's checking someone's status and likes and comments and wondering what she's thinking, and then leaving some messages on some posts that could be related to us. Then again, indirectly, but then again, I'm not 100% sure. And that's when ego, no matter what, we still have ego. And ego is kicking in, my own ego. And I'm not brave enough to contact him and say, hey, let's, we made up. We talked about what he said to me when he was angry and what I did when I was angry, and we cleared that up, sort of like, let's forget about the whole thing happened. I didn't mean to say that. That's what he said. I didn't mean to, never, let's just forget it, like it never happened. It seems like an unfinished story. I just can't get over it. And that's not the worst part. My cat had to be put down. That's the worst part for me, because as a veterinary nurse, I actually, as someone who went to school for veterinary nurse and worked in the field and then left the field because I couldn't handle euthanasia. I couldn't handle giving a shot to an animal and putting it to death. Now I had to experience that for the first time. I had pets all my life. I had pets forever, since I was a little baby. I always loved animals. For God's sakes, I wanted to go to that school, and I did. And then I quit that job because I couldn't handle that. Now I had to do that because Garfield, our cat, he was completely paralyzed. He couldn't eat or walk anymore. He was really, really suffering greatly. It was too hard for him. And as an indigo, I have some kind of I'd say sixth sense, like I'm an animal whisperer in some way. I really communicate with them well, and I understand them, and I can feel them. And I ask him nights and nights and nights for nights. Every night I would hold him and ask him what to do, and he just, every time I would mention that, does he want to go away, stop the suffering, he was so weak, he would meow at me, and like, you just look at me with those eyes. And he was only 2 years old, but it had to be done. So he's in that heaven, or maybe it's just one. I believe it's just one heaven for everyone, for cats and dogs and people, whether some people like that or not. I think everybody who lived fully and enjoyed life that God gave them deserves heaven, or to come back and experience life in another form. Maybe Garfield will come back and someone else. I hope so. I will recognize the soul energy, but I just uh, feel that was ultimate test for me to see when do we do something that we normally would judge. When do we do something that we judged other people for? This is a great lesson for me, to never judge anyone for anything, no matter how stupid or crazy it looks to me, because one day I may have to do it. So please don't judge other people. That's God's job. That's the only job that I don't think nobody should take away from God. And everybody does. Everybody judges each other. 11:11 on my camera, which is great. I will stop soon because I want my videos to get shorter. That's another thing I'm working on. So that was last week. We lost him, and I'm kind of suffered in silence. This is first time I cried a little bit now, because I just, it was such a hard decision. I had confirmation before we decided. I went to my friend who is a Buddhist, and I share great, trust with him and he with me. And I asked him, I told him I don't know what to do, that he's extremely sick. He cannot, it's like he was such a proud cat. He was so young, and then not, just being like his limbs completely like detached from his brain, from his brain function. Nothing was functioning anymore, and he was being young and having a test done on him. Everything else was normal, so he would not die for God knows how long. And being in that condition, it was just, he couldn't bear it. I could see that he couldn't bear it anymore. And so I went to my friend, and he said, see what else can be done, and nothing else could have been done seriously. And I showed him something that my that same cat brought a couple of months ago. He brought from backyard. He dug it out someplace. I don't know. Little statue, little figure. I thought it was Buddha. It looked kind of like Buddha, to me. But not really. I had energy coming from this thing, like from the whatever it was, that it wasn't Buddha, but it looked like something that came from Buddhism. And I asked this friend of mine, I took it out of my pocket, and says, I have a feeling this is a sign. This is some kind of sign, because this cat, Garfield, he brought that some time ago as a gift to me. One day we were, well, just, he always liked to joke with me, and he was really funny cat. So he brought that, left on my couch, and so I remember, and I took it, and I asked him, and he said, that's not Buddha, that's someone else. And he explained to me who it was, and it was this lady who lived in India thousands and thousands of years ago, and then she was venerated by both Hindus and Buddhists, and her name translates as mercy. She was someone who loved animals, and she was someone who had great compassion for animals or for humans, and that was my test of compassion. Compassion has so many forms, and this is kind of compassion as when you have a child and you have to give it a shot, a penicillin shot, or some kind of injection, or go take your baby to the surgery, or something that they would hate to do, that would be painful for them, but it has to be done to preserve their life or to preserve their health. It's for their own benefit, although they may hate it. And that's another form of mercy. It's not like mercy when you give comfort to someone, but you actually have to give discomfort to someone in order to, to help them. And this was the ultimate form, when you have to help someone pass on into another dimension, better, into spiritual form, away from the body that didn't function anymore at all. So that's something I had to do. And then after that, like, it wasn't hard, that week enough. After I had a fight with the throat chakra guy, I felt the need to just feel better, and I didn't look for sacral guy, but he felt, because I had, the night before, I had telepathic energy coming in, actually from my twin, and then my twin told me, as I always say, he talks to me that way in 5D. He told me that throat chakra guy is not ready for these sorts of relationships, or not now. I didn't get any future revealed or anything. He just told me, go with sacral guy. And so maybe it's not a mistake, but it was painful for me. So as soon as he told me that, his higher self, I felt that I'm communicating suddenly with sacral guy, and that he's still thinking about me and still in need to see me and be near me. And so next morning, like first thing in the morning, text full, and I fell for it. I was like, okay, I'll meet you tonight. Actually, no, I said, I can't tonight. I was really busy with another appointment I had. I said tomorrow night, and then God knows what went through his head. And so everything was fine until a certain point. Every time it happens like that, at a certain point when he feels emotion, high emotion, and then like something triggers him when he feels that way, to stress it out on me as if it's my fault that he's not with someone else he wanted to be with, that I'm not with someone else that I wanted to be with. Then he starts complicating and making things bad when they should be okay, because we were supposed to have each other for now, and it's not working out. So, but I wish I stopped seeing him on my own terms and not on his, and maybe that's my ego. I don't know. So I just wanted to say, and then I had some job offers, amazing opportunities, and then people around me are failing me. I need some help. I need some little favors, some equipment and stuff to make that work, to get that job. I need someone to just help me with something for one day, and everybody's failing me. Like, people are canceling on me, and everybody's like, people are really ungrateful. Those are people I've asked for a favor, for people that I've helped a lot, and everybody's just being selfish and inconsiderate, and it's just like everywhere, like universe right now conspiring against me. I don't know. I believe it's meant to be that way. And even if, like, I was scheduled to have someone help me with that today, and they canceled on me last night, like last minute, and that was something that really really upset me. I'm trying not to be upset, but everybody's pulling me back into 3D, and so I got really disappointed. Like, not with them specifically, but I think, like, why is the universe blocking me everywhere I go? And this has been going on for years, and now, like, I tried to unblock it, and it's like still keeping me back. So, so I was so nervous all night and thinking, like, how could they cancel on me like that and for nothing? Just like, oh, I have to hang out with another friend. Well, and you know what I mean. And so, but today it is raining, so even if if they came and wanted to help me, it wouldn't be possible because it had to be a sunny day and good weather. So I feel it's universe trying to block me. May Allah forgive me for saying that. It's just like, the only problem with that is if it's my fault. And that's, again, judging myself. So that's wrong too. So a lot of things, my family, a lot of feuds with them, miscommunication everywhere. So I almost wanted to give up making a video too, because I didn't have any subscribers on the last video. I had people unsubscribe. I don't know, maybe because I said things about religion. No, I'm not. I want people to come to Islam if they want to. That would be wonderful, because Islam is a beautiful, pure religion, and I belong to it. And of course, I would raise my children in it, and I do love it the most. It does need new, fresh people, because current ones we have, I'm mostly disappointed in them, including myself. So we need better people. Islam deserves better people. I'm not saying not to convert to Islam. I'm just saying, I was just thinking that not everybody can convert. We cannot have the whole world become Muslims, or we cannot have the whole world become Christians. It's just not realistic. There will always be people converting and finding themselves resonate with something, but there will always be people who will want to stay in their own. And so all I was saying was, make the best out of it, take the good stuff from the other religions, don't block yourself out. So if someone didn't like what I said, that's okay. I just had to share that. I feel that the world needs to unite, not disunite anymore, right? So I had people unsubscribe, and then very low viewing on the previous one. So I almost didn't make this one, but as I said, whatever I share, if you find something similar going on with your life right now, then it must be general energies. It must be that, we can share. And even if you leave comments down there, please do say, this or that is similar to what's going on with me. And so that's why I'm doing it. And if the last minute, when I was drawing card coming from the mosque today, by the way, Tigger guy is not showing up. He said he's not coming. He's working on Fridays. It's not important to him anymore, although he's Muslim. It's more important to get his job and his school done and stuff. So, okay, fine. That's everybody's choice. No chakra guy didn't show up. Apparently, that time when he showed up, he just wanted to, prove, that he's, he can come anytime he wants, or maybe he's working. I don't know. And Twin Flame is definitely not there. I couldn't see him. I quit trying to see him. He's in his whatever phase now, and so I was completely really low today. I'm serious. In all these past few days and weeks, trying to make best of it, but it's like everywhere I go, I'm hitting the walls. And so when I was coming in my parking lot, I said, what's the point of making a video? Who's gonna watch it? Like 70 people. That's nothing. Why is it so? What am I doing wrong? Why is people not watching it? And I'm being, just honest and sharing what's going on. No scenario, no script, nothing. I'm not doing any readings. I'm not asking for any money. I'm just sharing, and And then I stopped the car. I was gonna turn it off, and my clock on in the car is it's just broken. I don't know. Another thing, this is not going well. But the moment I stopped and I looked up, I was thinking this thing is broken. I looked up and it says 11:11. It was already 3:30 something p.m., but the clock said 11:11. It was like that for more than a minute. I swear it's some kind of like a time, just like time warp or something. And I recorded that, and I'm gonna put that in the end of this video. Just shortly recorded it. I'm gonna put it at the end of this, so you guys can see. And no matter what, no matter how hard the universe is giving us sign, 11:11, it's the sign of twin flames. Love you guys. Thank you. Subscribe. I would love you to like and share. Please share. Help me. So because if this video is not the best one I ever made and it's kind of sad, I'm sorry I had to share sad stuff. There's other videos, because if you share this one, people will maybe reach my channel and see other videos, and there's some good stuff in the previous ones, and there may be some good stuff in the next ones. I hope so. I love you guys, and keep loving your twin flames wherever they may be and whatever they may be doing. Keep loving them. Unconditional love. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you all. Hi everyone. I need to make additional footage. It's Sunday night. I'm super hungry. I just got home, but in the other part of the house is my energy vampire father, who is trying to get everyone sucked into his moping. So I'm just using this time to get into this room and quickly tell you what happened on Friday. Hear that emergency siren? That reminds me of the whole deal. Okay, so you watch the footage that I just stopped, and that was recorded on Friday night. Not 2 hours after that, not even 2 hours later, I went to my prayer room to pray the Isha prayer, which is the night prayer in Islam, the fifth prayer, the one that we pray before we go to rest, go to sleep. And after I just finished, I was leaving my prayer room, which is in the front of my house, and I heard the turbo engines raging on the street. There's a large street right ahead of my house, in front of it, and so I recognized that sound. It sounded familiar. For years now, my twin flame comes and checks on me on certain days or nights. He just drives by my house, and my mom knows about it. People don't believe me, and sometimes I don't believe it myself, but he used to work at dealership, and there would be all kinds of cars from specific make, and some different models, and he would do that. And then he would do like honk the horn sometimes, or just drive, like make a couple of U-turns and come back, or park across the street and stuff. So anyway, so I heard the turbo engine, like a race car engine, and he was dealer for race cars up until recently, like a couple of weeks ago. And I ran out through my front door to see what was going on, and guess what? My twin flame almost had a car crash. Actually, there was a car crash. There was 2 cars involved, and I witnessed with my own eyes. It was so scary. I was in a state of shock, because as I opened the door of my prayer room and looked out the front of my house, I saw 2 cars. One was making the turbo sounds, and I saw them racing each other right in front of my gate, right passing right in front of my house. And the one that was closer to my house, I know that car. I've seen it around my house so many times. I know that he was the one just kind of, making drive-bys at night, usually on weekends, and sometimes on his like day off, which would usually be sometimes Wednesday night. And so I recognize that car. I'm not gonna say which car it is. It's a race car. It's a really expensive race car, but just for the sake of my twin flames privacy, who knows, you know, these videos will stay on YouTube for some time. So anyways, a super fast car was close to my house. There's 3 lanes, and the next one next to it was another one. Later, I find out it's a BMW, and I just I didn't know that. I didn't see the other car from the first one, but there were two. I mean, I heard the other one behind it. They were racing, and they just, as they passed by my house, this was matter of seconds. I heard the sound of brakes. It was raining. It started raining that night, just earlier that night. Remember, guys, I told you, you know, what I needed something to be done, but the rain started. So it was raining, and the car closer to my house started hydroplaning and started braking, and it was in the matter of seconds. And just as it passed my house next door, there was a car parked out front. Some guests were visiting party or something, and it crashed into it right in front of my eyes. It was so scary, and I thought my twin flame was in that car. Earlier that day, Friday, remember how sad I was, but I forgot to tell you that I had this voice that told me that he's close to death or something is going to happen to him, and I was so scared. I didn't want to even share that with you guys, just because I thought, like, God forbid, I don't want to, maybe it's just a, you know, some negative thought that just crossed my mind, so I didn't want to share that with anyone. And then that moment when I saw that car crashing into the car that was visiting my neighbors that was parked out front, I was scared to death, and I screamed, and the car in the front was totaled. It was like a race car crashed into it with huge impact, with great speed. Must have been going like at least, I don't know, 80, 90 miles per hour, even more perhaps, because they were racing. And the car next in the next lane that was racing it went on and probably stopped on the next stoplight or somewhere, and I suppose they parked someplace and then they came back on foot. And by the time I got my hijab on, I ran on my front yard, and I saw that a guy came out of the car, and he was not hurt. Actually, two guys, the driver and someone in the next, in the passenger seat, and there were two white guys. None of them were my twin flame. So I thought, okay, so maybe it was a mistake. This car that I saw for many times passing by my house, maybe it was someone else. But just as I thought that, two guys from the other car came back to help them, and I saw my twin flame helping them out. So he was in the other car. Obviously, this car is not his, but he used to borrow it from his friend. That's what I assume. Or he was with him in this car. So this time he was in the other car that just went on, and then they stopped someplace and they came on foot and they helped these guys out of the car, and they were pretty busy with that because it was scary and everybody was like probably in the state of shock. And so I was in my front yard, but I was in the shadow a little bit, and I watched what they were doing, and my mother was there, and so I waited to see what's going to happen next. Is everybody's okay? I was just watching, in the state of shock. And then the neighbor from the house next door came out and came to them, and then they started talking. And then I really, I had another test. I realized that my religion requires people to witness, if they witness something, to not to bear false witness and to say the truth. So I came to my side fence and I called my neighbor. I said, come over here, and he left them. I asked him if everybody was alive, okay. He says, yes, everybody is fine, just those cars are ruined. And I told him, you know what? I was aware that my twin flame was standing right there and was involved in that. And I said, you know what? The cars were racing because I asked him what the guy in the car who crashed into his friend, into his guest car, what did he say? And he says, well, he said he doesn't know what happened. He just lost control over his car. And I said, I'm sure he lost control over his car because it's raining out here. They were, his car and the car next to him in the next lane, they were racing. Just to let you know, they've endangered perhaps their own lives and somebody else's life, and it was raining, and they shouldn't have done that. My twin flame or not, they shouldn't have done that. It's dangerous, and they could have killed themselves or someone else, and they destroyed this person's car. But the funny thing is how karma works. My neighbor seems to be legally, it's just a new guy, just moved in. Like, I'm not talking about the neighbor that I mentioned in the previous video. He's on the other side of my house. He's really decent and nice guy. Now I'm talking about someone new on the right of my house, and I noticed them like a couple of weeks ago, and turns out they moved in there illegally. I don't know, something with the landlord. Landlord is a really shady guy, and seems like they had drugs in the car that was parked on the street, and it was that my twin flame's friends crashed into. And so he said, please don't call the police. I don't want police involved. There's, things, I don't want them to know. And then these guests, they started running out of their house, starting taking stuff out of that van that was parked there that Twin Flames friends crashed into. So turns out they are like shady people dealing with some illegal drugs or whatever. Something is fishy there, and they started taking stuff out. So it wasn't in their interest that anybody called police. And I said, you know what? That's none of my business if you call police, though. I will tell them what I saw. These two cars were racing, and then you with the rest of it. I don't care. None of my business how you're gonna get out of this, or what. But I just want you to know that they destroyed your car, and it was accident, of course, but it wasn't just plain accident. It wasn't just driving normally and then lost control of the car. They were driving way over the speed limit, and basically it's funny because if my twin flame is doing that in front of my house, everybody knows why, but it doesn't justify it by any means. And so I risked my twin getting mad at me or something. But the moment I came to the side, that's the best part. The moment I came to the side fence and I started talking to my neighbor, I still wasn't 100% sure it was my twin flame because it was dark outside, it was raining, and I saw someone that looked like him. But then I asked my new neighbor, the guy I was talking to, I said, who is that guy standing there? Does he look Middle Eastern or something? And he says, no, he looks like Indian or Pakistani. And then the guy who was in the car that crashed into it, he came over and he said, no, I was just driving. I wasn't racing with anyone. These two guys came back to help me because they said they're witnesses and they're really nice. And it was little, BS. It's just, it was obvious that he was trying to. And then he came over to talk to me, my twin flame turned around and he saw me standing there talking to them, and he just ran further down the street by foot, and the other guy must have called him, and the other guy who was with him, he just ran after him, and they just disappeared down the street. It was he must have been scared, and he didn't want me to recognize him and to see him. And just as I was talking to this friend that made the car crash, he said, these two guys, some Pakistani and someone else with him, they came to help us get out of the car. They were really nice. And I said, oh yeah, okay, you know, I'm just glad you're all okay. I'm just happy that you're all alive, and I'm just saying what I saw, you know. And he said, but that guy, you know, the Pakistani is really nice. And, you know, usually people don't say that for someone, you know. And then he said, well, maybe he was racing because maybe his turbo engine was on. I don't have a turbo engine. I don't know. You didn't hear my car. I'm like, okay, I don't know which car it was. I heard the sound of turbo engines, racing cars, engines, and then I saw two cars racing, and then you crashed into my neighbor's, you know, guest's car. That's all I saw. And he said, yeah, but no, those guys, maybe they were racing them. But, and then he says they're nice and they helped him. You know, you don't say that someone is nice for someone who just caused you to, you know, swerve off the road and crash into someone's car on the street, parked on the street. It just didn't make sense. But as, as, as he was talking to me, he turned around as he said, that guy, he's really nice, you know. And as my twin flame already disappeared down the street, he said, well, he just disappeared. I mean, they were right there, and he just got kind of scared and upset, probably because he left him there in this trouble. And it must have been his idea to do that in front on my street. And so he just runs off. But turns out he really showed his character. Just, you know, maybe 15 minutes later, two cars showed up, Pakistani people. I know them. They're friends of my twin flame. They all came to help this guy get, you know, get his stuff, get things clear with my neighbor, whatever they talked about, insurance or something. And police did come. I didn't call them. Someone else did, and I did tell them what I saw, and they didn't seem to care. It was raining. It was Friday night. The police officer was super tired. He seemed super tired. He just wanted to have that, you know, over with. And obviously, they just exchanged their insurances, and nobody wanted to charge anyone for anything because the other guy was the neighbor. His guests were really shady people. They didn't want police involved in first place. And then my twin flame's friend wanted to get out of trouble. He seemed a little bit drunk, and I'm sure my twin flame doesn't drink. I'm not 100% sure, but he shouldn't be. I believe he's not. But this guy seemed drunk a little bit, and enough to crush. And so he didn't want police there too, of course. I mean, and I just went into the house, and I couldn't believe what just happened. You know, until next morning, I thought I was just dreaming all that. I just wanted to tell you guys how this journey is full of surprises, and you never know what's going to happen next. And I still can't believe that. So I just wanted to tell you. And then two cars came with Pakistani people, my twin flames friends, to help this guy out. Obviously, he felt bad that he left, but he did send someone else to help him and get him out of there. And must have been a really, really eye-opening and hard night for him. And I feel that he's not mad at me, he's mad at himself. And this will be a great purging for him, and great, you know, time to, you know, have a reality check and say, this is not working out. Just driving by her house, occasionally checking on her, being close, it's not what we're supposed to be doing, right? That's childish, and he's not a childish person. I know he's more mature than it sounds from this story, but that's the point. But the fear, you know, the fear. You want to see someone, you want to check on them, you want to let them know you're around, but you don't want to get too close. You're still scared. I'm still on the same page as he is, but we have to get over our fears and obstacles and everything, and grow up, and realize that these little games are not taking us anywhere. It's time to take the real action. And so that's how I feel right now. The higher self of my twin flame is giving me that message that he this really shook him up and woke him up. And I'm sorry that I added this as additional footage. I just had to because it happened like 2 hours after I recorded that, as I said. And I'm recording this now on Sunday, and I didn't have time to edit before, but I just wanted to let you know what happened. And thank you guys for tuning in and watching this additional footage. Love you guys. Stay safe, and I'm grateful to the creator, to the source, that everybody was okay and nobody got hurt, except that beautiful race car got completely totaled and that neighbor's car got completely smashed. But it's just cars, it's just material stuff. It's important that lives are saved and nobody got hurt. Thank you guys. Love you. Salam alaikum. Peace be upon you.